Sometimes it could be hard to pinpoint exactly where a specific weapon type comes from. However, most rear hinge flippers, especially those built in the UK, can trace their lineage all the way back to when Chaos 2 made its debut in Series 3 of Robot Wars. By 1999, the TV show was going through a transitional period. Gone were the gauntlet and trials, and in its place, a straight knockout competition. Much like Hypno-Disc's debut, the moment Chaos 2 appeared on our television screens, it was almost hard to fathom what was going on. The most impressive robot viewers had seen up to that point in Series 3 was probably Mace 2 in Heat A. Nobody had seen a flipper that powerful before, not even in the US. The brainchild of George Francis, Chaos 2 was the third robot to be built by the Ipswich native. After a grand final appearance with Robot the Bruce, and an underwhelming sophomore campaign with Chaos, it seems the third time really was the charm. Chaos 2's Series 3 campaign could only be described as clinical. Every round it found itself in was won via knockout. The most famous of which came during the grand final eliminator against the first incarnation of Firestorm, resulting in the first OOTA in Robot Wars history, which was a complete accident but would ultimately become somewhat of a party piece for the robot. Series 4 showed a completely unaltered Chaos 2 come back and fight for the title, resulting in 2 more OOTAs, the second of which was against then debutante Tornado, after the two had to fight each other for the third time after 2 restarts. The first due to the arena being damaged, and the second due to both robots being immobilized after Chaos 2 was pushed into the CPZ. The third match was, to quote the Tornado team, a foregone conclusion. Despite the standards of robots being much higher than the previous series, Chaos 2 would become the Series 4 champions and the only competitor to win the UK Robot Wars title on 2 occasions. Much like its success, its surprisingly quick downfall in Series 5 and 6 was by its own design. UK builders that started to adopt the pneumatic flipper technology that made Chaos 2 so successful had already started to catch up. And in an ironic twist of fate, Chaos 2's first UK Championship defeat would be at the hands of Bigger Brother, a pneumatic flipper. And its second defeat would be at the hands of Dan Tom Kia, another pneumatic flipper. Mix that with 2 underwhelming Extreme campaigns, and the reign that George Francis' machine once ruled with an iron fist had completely evaporated. Chaos 2 would continue to appear in live events across the UK until its final public appearance in the Colchester Robot Rumble in 2007. Chaos 2's zeitgeist didn't last very long, but despite that, the blueprint that flipper had created has fingerprints on every corner of UK robot combat, especially during the peak of the UK live scene, where spinning weapons would be banned for an indefinite period. Most of the flipper bots, with maybe a few exceptions, exist in part because of Chaos 2. While Cassius and Recyclops can take credit for being the first effective flippers in the UK, Chaos 2 is the reason why rear-hinged flippers are infinitely more common than front-hinged flippers. It is incredibly rare that a robot ends up being so good and so far above the competition that everyone has to stop what they're doing and take notes. Chaos 2 was one of those robots, and that's why I think it's the greatest flipper of all time.
Robot use. Prepare yourselves.